The Kennedy family has long captured the interest of Americans and the world. Now a new book is diving into the short but vibrant life of JFK Jr.
Titled JFK Jr., the book is a collection of stories from over 150 people who knew him personally, and it includes exclusive photos. And here to tell us more is John F. Kennedy Jr.'s former chief of staff and co-author of JFK Jr., Rosemarie Terenzio. Rosemarie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Very excited to chat with you. And we'll start to level set. How would you describe your relationship with John Kennedy Jr. and the Kennedy family?
So he was my boss initially. I worked for John for 5 years, but we became very close friends, and I became very close with his sister as well.
There is so much interest and has been so much interest in this family for so long. What do you think people don't know about him?
I think the one thing that surprised even me as I went through the stories and did a lot of interviews. We did over 200 interviews, I think. And it was that there was this sort of seeking. You know, he was always looking for this emotional connection to his father. And there's Narendra, who's one of the people he stayed with when he went to India, called him a wounded seeker of truth. And even in the magazine, George, he was always looking for these sort of threads back to his father because he was so young. And you have all these people who come up to you and say, oh my God, your father had such a huge impact on me. I loved your father. That's why I went into politics. And you didn't know him. And I think that was something that he carried with him.
Yeah, that's quite a burden to bear. You mentioned over 200 interviews.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big number of interviews.
That's a big number of interviews.
A lot of stories to collect and to reminisce. Do you have any favorite stories that came out of all your reporting?
I think that my favorite part of the book would be probably the coda, the end of the book, because it gives all of his closest friends and family members a chance to say goodbye. And it's just a beautiful tribute. It just sort of wraps the book up so perfectly. But there are so many great stories, you know.
I'm curious how you remember him.
I remember him as the biggest practical joker that ever lived, and would play a practical joke on anybody. But he was just very warm. He was engaging, but he was also very sincere. And there was an idealism about him that I think I miss a lot, because he could always find the good in a situation. And he always used to say, you know, nothing is as good or as bad as it seems in the moment.
That is some truth there. Thank you so much, Rosemarie, for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
And you can pick up a copy of JFK Jr. everywhere books are sold, or scan that QR code right there at the bottom of your screen if you'd like to purchase a copy.